Hello everyone, welcome back to RCH Builders. So today we are finally going to start shingling. Well, technically that's not 100% true. We're going to continue shingling the addition. I actually did off camera. You can see I am in safety harness with a rope. In most cases, well, in the other videos that you've seen me, I have not done that. When I'm going up just a valley and right on the ridge top, I have, I've felt real safe, and technically by the time I set up a safety harness and get it up over the ridge anyway, I'm already doing the process that could make me fall at getting it there. However, and then the other roof that I did, that was just a 512 pitch. It's not that steep at all. There's lots of driveways. A standard driveway might be about as steep as that is. So it's not, I don't really feel, unsafe when I'm doing that. However, we have been trying to be more correct in our safety procedures with things that we do, but especially on this roof. This roof is a 712 pitch, which is just a little bit much of a slope. Once I get away from the edge, I feel fine, but I'm still wearing it. However, I went ahead and I got the edge done ahead of time off camera, and that's just simply because it is dangerous. It's much easier to do and not worry about trying to video it and all of that. So I did like the first 5 rows off camera already. On the 2 sides that I'm working on trying to finish right now. My goal is to try and get up high enough to cover where the pipes and vents, any vents are coming up through the roof. If I can get those all covered up, then it doesn't matter if it rains, it'll still be dry. The tar paper will take care of the rest of it for now. But that's my goal, is to try and do that on both sides today. But like I said, I did the other part off camera, but I did want to show y'all something. So, in shingles, there are many different brands, of course, just like with everything else. So, this is the original shingle. Coloration here, and I've mentioned multiple times on camera saying I'm not sure how well you can tell. And it's because I'm out here in the sun looking at my phone screen, and you might be able to see it. I've done it many times where I was like, well, I don't think you can really see it on camera. But then when I'm back home, I'm doing the editing of the footage, I can see that I can see it on the camera. So, but then there's other times when you can't. So I'm not sure what you'll see and what you won't see. But I'm going to try to at least get the main things. So we have an old shingle here, we have new shingle, new, and that bottom one is old as well, is another old one. You might be able to tell by the difference in coloration, I'm not sure. I can up here, I just don't know if you can on there. I think I can see that that one's definitely a different color than this. But there's another issue. So this was the shingle that the architect told us we're supposed to use out here. But this is a more black, spelled M-O-I-R-E, more black, certainteed landmark shingle. And you'll notice when it's tied in, so here's where it's tied in with the old here, and then this one with the old here. You'll notice that, if I can get it right here, this right here, this shingle should come down to this line right there. And it doesn't. The reason is because these old shingles are not certainteed landmark like they thought. A certainteed pro is going to be taller, which will cover, which will probably still get the same distance as this. However, certainteed pro is also not the right color for this. So I can see pretty obviously a difference right here in these 2 shingles. It's this one is a lot grayer, almost got a slight bluish tint to it. versus these ones that are just like a light gray and black. It's got black and it's got light gray. This is like a gray upon gray and another gray with some black in it. So what I did then, I had put these ones down, and you can see because of that distance, it keeps getting farther and farther off. In just 3 rows, we're about between 3/4 and 1 inch off. So that would have transferred all the way up this, and we got a nice long roof. I mean, that would just look funky, especially from the side where people can see it. This side, people would be able to see from the road. It would look really bad. And the other side, you'd see from the driveway. So I wanted to solve that issue. I did not want to have that problem. Instead, so I went ahead and I found the correct shingles that we needed to use. In most cases, what the architect was drawing up is what they assumed and thought it was. Another difference in these is these shingles here, you can see where it angles outward. That it does that at a much more extreme angle than these old ones, this version. This version is much more, it's almost a square. It's not quite a square, but it's almost a square. So that's another thing that if you looked at it, you would see. I left these ones here because it's right on the edge here, the gutter, between the gutter and then being right on the edge and being so high up. The only way you'd ever see it is from up here. They'll still do their job. They'll keep it from leaking, but I only used them there. It was just these few ones here, and then I knew for sure that was definitely not right. It wasn't just a difference, because sometimes, of course, there'll be a difference between this is old and this is new, but it wasn't just that. It was something else, and it only goes maybe 3 shingles down through there, and then I got the correct ones. But I had to take all of those shingles back and get all of these right here, which if you look at them, I don't know if you can even tell it on camera, because it's actually difficult. I mean, I can see it in real life here, but this shingle right next to this one, it's actually very difficult to even see the difference between them. This is old, this is new. And that's because I made sure I went, so this is actually Atlas Pinnacle Shadow Black is what this is. But this is actually what the original roof has on it. There's still a slight difference, and that bit, like I said, you're going to be able to see. This is slightly darker looking, this is slightly grayer, but then in other spots it kind of reverses. But that's just going to be the fact that 2 things. One, this is old, has been up here for, not quite sure, I would estimate based off the way that the rocks are, maybe 5 years. It's probably been up here 5 years, would be my guess. And this has been in a bag, protected. The other thing is the fact that also, even just when they make them, if this is made from a different batch, it's going to be slightly different anyway, ever so slightly. But it's so close that, especially from the ground, you would not be able to tell. And I can show you on the other side where I've got a whole bunch of it from a distance, and you'll see how you really can't tell the difference. And so as I was saying, like right here, you can see you can't tell the difference between the old and the new. Nah, I'm just joking. That's actually where someone else had patched the roof when they took down a chimney. And you can see a major difference in the 2 shingles. And that's what I wanted to avoid. Where I was actually talking about is over here. And from a distance, if at the most it looks like shadow, which actually there is shadow there, which helps too because there's a tree. But I mean, it is actually very difficult to tell where the old and the new is. And that's what we want. That's what we want this roof to look like. We want it to look as close as possible. So now I'm going to start just shingling up through. The only spot on this side is right there where that gun is. There's a hole, and I'll be putting that vent in. The other pipes are already up through the roof. I just got to get the shingles up past them. But that one I'm going to put in from above downward. It's going to be for the stove vent.